Dancing.
There it is.
Dancing.
Hello, everybody.
Rock it out.
Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. We're extra dark today.
We are.
I think when I was flipping lights on,
What have you done to us, Frank?
I don't know, but it's extra dark.
Mood lighting. It's very
Mood
romantic.
lighting. I don't know if this is going to help us at the moment. Hi. Oh, that's not going to be able to help us at the moment.
You don't think that'll help that light?
I don't have it. I plug it in.
Well, that creates a problem.
We'll have to.
We'll have to just wing it.
We're going to ask someone to turn the lights on.
Oh.
Hi. Happy Tuesday.
Tuesday. It is
You said
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
I did.
Oh my God!
Got
And
the
you know,
day
this
right.
is day 111 of the
It's crazy.
shutdown.
Crazy.
Yeah, shit house, as we call that. If you were keeping
Yes.
track,
Right. If you were keeping score by hand.
Welcome to Life from Rabs from inside Rabs Country Lanes, a very dark Rabs Country Lanes
Oh,
today.
somebody says it looks better in the dark.
You know, it's funny. It usually does, and so that's.
It's sharp. It seems sharper.
Yeah, I'm also using a different. I'm back to using my Mac, which also helps the last couple of days. But yeah, yesterday we had all the lights on,
Yes.
and
It
today
was very
we
bright.
went very dark. Hi everybody, and you know, Ronnie, I actually had that in my notes yesterday to mention.
Really?
And I
Isn't
never
he
mentioned
a young guy?
Yeah, Ryan Simonelli has officially retired from professional bowling. Hung up his shoes. You know, I didn't read the whole article, so I can't really comment on it. But young fellow New Yorker, hung up his shoes. Good for him. I mean, if he's done, he's done.
That's
Yeah,
curious.
I didn't.
I wonder if anybody's read the story and they could enlighten us. It would be interesting to know.
Hillary, does it seem mysterious? We look mysterious. I think that's. Yeah, I like that. I did not spill more wine. I've now transitioned from the computer I was using back to my MacBook. I have not spilled anything on it.
It's fancy,
we're
new,
in-
bougie Mac.
It's a replacement. So we'll see. He gave it up full time. Probably got a real job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it probably did. So no, it did not spill anything. And you know, one of the things that before we went live, Naz happened to look at the stock market, and we're not going to be talking about people's money today. I mean,
No.
it's not that bad. I mean, we've gone up. We've had our ups and
listen,
downs.
it's what time is it? It's 2:00.
Yeah.
Anything could happen in the next couple hours. It probably won't. It'll
So-
continue to die.
It's about 185 points down. I mean, it is what it is. We've been.
It is what it is.
Going back and
Long
forth.
term.
If anybody caught us in the beginning, we in the beginning of all this, we had welcomed our friend Dennis Sermonek on the show, where we talked about your money, our money, and the volatility of the market, and what this might have looked like. And I mean, he wasn't far off. I mean, we're not in a terrible place, but
No.
just
I mean, it was a very
interesting
good
to continue
rebound for a
watching.
while, and now things are falling back a little bit. But listen, you can't. You know, the stock market is not for the weak of heart.
So he says he's going to do a few events. He's going to bowl in a few events. So he's not. He's retiring from full time. So he's just going to bowl whenever he chooses to.
Whenever he has
Tournament
time.
champions, I would imagine some of the larger
Yes.
events he'd compete in, which is some of the guys have done.
Yeah.
But for a young guy, I know he had battled some
Injuries.
physical injuries
Yeah.
over time.
Yeah.
So well, good for him.
Yeah.
Sean, thanks for popping in. I hope all is well by you.
Yeah. Hi, Sean.
Dennis comment. Dennis is watching. Hi, Dennis. Dennis, he goes, we certainly could talk about money if you want.
Hi, Dennis. Yeah. Listen, it's a crazy time. You can't react to one day, 1 week, 1 month. You know, you have to be in it for the long haul. And overall, as Dennis always says, the market has always improved. It's always gone up.
Yeah.
So
he's getting a quote, shout out, and a quote today.
Yes.
Our financial advisor.
let's we'll keep our wits about us
for sure.
and hope for the best.
Yeah, and so Naz, I didn't look. I don't know. Did you change your mood today? I did not change my mood from yesterday because
No, I didn't.
I had made it. I changed it to inspired yesterday, and I was not, in the best of moods yesterday overall.
No, you were a little tiny ranty.
I didn't really rant.
No, you didn't. No, it wasn't
rants.
as usual. It
really
was more like and you know what else bothers me?
I mean, we all have those moments, right?
Absolutely.
But I'm feeling extra inspired today because
extra.
the breaking news just a little while ago, the proprietors of North Carolina came victorious in a lawsuit where they basically went after the state. They were given some guidance and told they could open, and then all of a sudden they told they weren't, and they said, screw that, we're taking this to court. Yeah. And the judge heard all parties. I mean, it was short-lived. We've invited Nancy Schenk to come on in a little bit later and join us and talk a little bit about it. So hopefully she comes on and she'll tell us what that means for bowling centers in North Carolina.
Also interesting to see what it means for
the rest of us.
The way governors handle their messages from now on, or mayors, because I would think that this sets a precedent for them to be very reticent to make announcements of what will be opening and what will not be allowed to open.
Yeah, it actually, I'm more concerned on the not so positive side, because it's positive for them. But to your point, what is our Governor Andy going to say when he sees this? And is he certainly going to be hesitant? Which he has been to begin with.
I would be if it was me. Yep. Listen, and understandably, I understand the bowling center's point of view 100%. But in a case like this, where maybe new evidence comes up, and obviously the judge heard that and didn't feel like it was enough to side with that part of the case. But if I was the governor, I'd be like, you know what,
zip it, not saying
I'm not going to be telling anybody,
which is not good either, because we've been consistent saying this here too.
Correct.
We can't live in the unknown either. Right. There has to be
too many things need to be done ahead of time in preparation for opening.
Right. So the restaurants just went through that, and I think this does set a precedent for businesses in other states. Listen, restaurants were told indoor dining was going to start, and then they were told about a week before, nope, not happening. In New Jersey, it was worse than New York,
because the way that
Governor Murphy,
they were ahead of us.
They were ahead. Governor Murphy said, nope, turned it off. Not happening. And so restaurants could certainly take this to have a battle with it. And having spoken to some restaurateurs in the last week, they feel the same way.
Yeah,
they've had a lot. There was some waste. They didn't overly prepare, but at some point
they had to make some sort of preparations.
Yes. In some cases, they were able to cancel orders, because they didn't get them. But it'll be interesting. So hopefully Nancy comes on a little bit later. If not, we're going to get the lowdown and get
maybe Andy, as you call him, will call us.
Andy. Speaking of New York and bowling centers, if you're watching us, that means you're in the space, and I would hope that you've seen we have shared a change.org petition, and that gives us some tools to say, hey, there's some support from the grassroots. To push bowling centers and give us clarity and understanding for opening.
Yes.
There's in the last couple of days, yesterday specifically, there's someone who works for an assemblyman in Long Island who's close to bowling, and is starting a little bit of a battle. So it looks like we're being heard finally, and a meeting is taking place between the bowling proprietors in New York have been fighting, having conversations. So it's just adding, and hopefully it's got a little bit more momentum. Does it mean we want to turn it on tomorrow? Yes, of course, but we know that's not going to happen.
Right.
But we need to have clear guidance for when we can open, because we truly are left in the dark.
Yes.
Western New York is in phase 4. Their bowling centers cannot open.
Yeah.
And they don't have
people that are ahead of us.
Right. They're already 2 weeks ahead of us.
Yeah.
And their bowling centers are still closed where they are already in phase 4.
And I think are they kind of lumping bowling centers and malls,
bowling centers, movie theaters,
places where people are there for an extended period of time
Yeah.
not expected to wear a mask the whole time.
Potentially, also because of the HVAC units.
Right.
That's the new thing.
Right.
I think there might be a misunderstanding that everybody uses the same bowl and shoes all the time.
Right. Right. So that's it.
I think it's the whole element, and because of it. Now, listen, all bowling centers aren't equally in size, or are very different throughout the country. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lanes. I mean, odd lane bowling centers exist, but just talking about a smaller center, 12 and below, and then 25, 24 and above. I mean, there's a difference. And so, yeah, we've got a big center. There are centers with larger concourse space where land is a little bit cheaper. I mean, there are, but they can be confined spaces. So I think I want to believe that they're looking at facilities like ours. In different lights because of that.
Kind of right.
And movie theaters the same way. For the most part, a screen is set up, designed the same, but there are larger and smaller seating screens.
Don't understand the movie theater thing because one, you can, well, I guess because it's dark, maybe you can't make sure people are wearing their mask, but it's so easy to socially distance people.
You would sell less tickets per screen.
You just sell it like an assigned seat.
Yeah,
which they already do a lot of theaters.
If you pre-buy your tickets, you get an assigned seat. And our independent theater here, the Atrium, has assigned seats.
Yeah.
So there are certainly ways to do it. You close off every other row. If you and I are going to be coming together, then we could buy 2 seats together.
Right.
The argument that they've all had, and even speaking with my brother Anthony at the theater in Avenel, one of the arguments and concerns they have are, hey, and we've talked about this, today you and I buy tickets, the two of us are going to go to the show.
Correct.
And now you can't go, I'm still going to go, but I'm going to sell your seat. And now we're not together. So now what do you do? I mean, those are the obstacles I think that have to be worked out.
How would you even know that? You wouldn't even know that.
When people buy tickets in groups of...
Yeah, right. But if I buy 4 tickets, they know I bought the tickets. But they don't know who's going.
They don't know until I arrive, and now maybe I say, I don't know the said person. They're not in my group.
I understood.
Again, I don't. That is an argument that's being used. Do I agree with it? I don't, because you're taking it. If you're going to sell your ticket, well, that's the chance you're taking.
I'm taking the risk because I'm next to this person. Yeah,
and that's more prominent in Broadway and sports because of the. I mean, you don't have access to tickets. In some cases, so you're more likely to sell those types of tickets, not movie theater tickets. Most of the time, you'll eat $20 or look for a refund.
Yeah, right.
You're not eating a $200, $300, $400 seat that you might have spent.
I'm a little surprised that baseball hasn't moved forward with some sort of plan to have even very limited fans in the stands. Naz, we just got a season. I know. And listen, last night
we're lucky to have a schedule, which was very nice last night to have some clarity. You want to talk about putting people in the stands? It's at least we have people on the damn field.
Last night was the first time I actually allowed myself to watch baseball. I watched the Home Run Derby from 2019.
Okay.
And it was so nice to see Pete Alonso win that. It was a really interesting, like the whole show was pretty good.
I watched that one. If I remember last year, it went a little long.
Well, because Guerrero hit like ridiculous,
and it was the first year of the new rules.
He hit like a ridiculous amount of home runs, and then what's it? The kid from the Dodgers, I think, Jock Peterson, I believe, tied him, and they didn't even think that was even going to happen.
Right.
And so it went long. Yeah, and it was kind of set up a little differently.
Yeah, it was funny because I remember watching it live. I had left here, went to one of my usual spots, I sat at the bar, had dinner, and I remember listening to the rest of it in the car. Because I was like, all right, how much longer is this going to go?
It made me excited. Josh Hamilton back in
2008. That's funny.
Oh my God, Josh Hamilton. So so I allowed myself to watch that. We watched the Mets' greatest comebacks or something like that, and so I was allowing myself to enjoy baseball, knowing it was coming
slowly but surely.
Yes.
So if anybody, we said it yesterday. It was Rob Butler. Thank you for sharing with us.
Yes.
They announced a schedule last night. Interesting, the kind of travel pattern.
What was
staying in place.
Yes, it was funny to see Rob Butler post today that it may be time for Met fans to actually root for the Yankees because they're basically in the same division.
Right.
So now we actually want them to win against the teams that
of course
might be ahead of us. So that's interesting. That'll be.
I don't know how I'm going to feel about.
Yeah, I don't know. I would probably just hope the Mets win.
Yeah,
straight out, and then we don't have to worry.
And we've always said for business.
Right, it's best for both teams to be there.
It really does. So we always say when it comes to a postseason, which yes, the Yankees spend more time in the postseason than the Mets. Whatever. It's good for business because people do hang around. They'll watch the game. It's more or less now that people don't go out.
Yeah, that's a lot less. It's a lot less common.
You used to have to go out to watch the games.
Yeah,
and now everybody's got access to it all over the place. So
I think there's more like house party type stuff and.
But our traditional league bowlers will hang around and watch a game.
Yes. Or what I love is when it's on during league bowling.
Yes.
Because it just feels it's not quite like being at the
stadium. You hear all the cheers
but to hear the fans who are rooting for the Yankees or rooting for the Mets, and I enjoy that. I really enjoy that.
So we've been so excited. July 26th. Is it the first game?
I believe that's the first game.
I believe it's the first game.
Shared this.
We should be excited for baseball. Hey, so it's our 25th anniversary, and while we spent about half of it closed due to this crap happening around us.
Happy 25.
Happy 25. We've been sharing some old photos. Today I don't have a photo, but I got a video. So I was talking about that camera card I found yesterday. The other day.
This should be interesting.
This one is. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I didn't even get through the whole thing today. But we were July 23rd. Thanks, Rob. Will be for the first game. Yankees Nationals first game.
I know who I'm rooting for. That's easy.
Yankees
because
Nationals.
As much as I don't like rooting for the Yankees, I really don't like the Nationals.
Yeah, it's true. So anyway, here's a quick video. This is when we put the flag.
Told you I could use a few days off.
Too much. That's why I didn't pull on it. Would have hit the pelvis.
I think you guys should move from there. Nah.
We're safe.
All right, hold on.
I told you I need a couple of days off. The concussion would do me good right then.
It's like the rehab without the drugs.
There you go.
It's like the conversation we had about rehab without the drugs.
That's it. Because the only way I can get into rehab is to do drugs.
Stop putting pieces in. That's it. That's the only way you're going to do it.
And since I can't fathom myself doing that,
If we can eliminate
if I didn't do it in my...
So Marco, my brother, Steve Houseman, putting up the flagpole. Uncle Bob up on the roof. It's about 10 years. I don't really remember when we put the flagpole up, but it was. It's one of those things. Everybody takes on a project, and
then you get involved in the project.
But then you don't. Sometimes you just don't plan it all out. You just go, we're going to take this off the wall. We're going to go. We just bought. I bought the flagpole at a trade show. I am 100%
guilty of that. This sounds like a good idea. Let's do it. But look how much you learned doing that.
So
you get your way.
It was at the IAPA trade show, and they were there. They had this great setup, and I was like, you know what? We've always talked about putting a flagpole out front. You know what? I'm just going to do it. And it really was not expensive.
Right.
So that was like my purchase for the trade show. I mean, I'm at this amusement expo and I buy a flag. So the other part of that is you just buy something and all right, well, when it comes, we'll figure it out. Well, that's exactly what happened. So then we needed a bucket. And like, we can't use the bucket. I mean, it was a couple of days of like, how are we going to manage this? And so therefore, those gentlemen got the flagpole up.
It's up and it's beautiful and it's.
I think the best part of the video, it might be the commentary from myself and Maureen, who was working at the snack bar at the time, and how they were very, and I don't forget who else was standing on the steps with us, not very confident about that staying up and falling down. So that's why she says, well, I can use a concussion. I can be out of work for a couple of days.
Miss some work.
Anyway, hey, so we opened the show because I was feeling inspired and we invited our dear friend, Nancy Shank, and she is here. I want to bring Nancy in, and I want her to talk about this awesome news that came out of the state of North Carolina, which at the same time could be awesome news and also terrible news for the rest of us.
Yeah.
Hi, Nancy.
How's it going?
Hi, Nancy.
Doing all right. How are you today?
I am better today than I have been the last 100 days, for sure.
Well, one, it's nice to see you, and thanks for dropping in. I do get to see Nancy on Wednesday nights with our friends on a Zoom call, so it's nice to have you here in person on the show. Hey, so you should be more excited today. Tell us about, walk us down the little road. Hey, you guys can open. Now you're staying closed, and you know what? We're just going to go after the state.
Yeah, so you went in and out there, so I apologize a little bit. But yeah, so we did what I think most bowling centers did at the beginning. We closed back in March and said, the public safety is at utmost important. We're going to bid our time, and we are just going to hang out until the world gets better. So we did that. When our governor finally decided to put us into phases, just like every other governor, during his phase 1 news conference, he said that entertainment venues would be allowed in phase 2 at 20%. So we said, okay, we can live with that. So we just held out and bid our time again. And then we went into phase 2 on May 22nd, which was Memorial Day weekend. And the Wednesday prior to that Friday, so on the 20th, that night, it came to a big shock to us that he was no longer including us into phase 2. He opened restaurants at 50% capacity. He opened barbershops, tattoo parlors, vaping. All of that was all opened under phase 2. And we were not, nor did we get any notice that we wouldn't be included. So at that time, and with nothing from the governor's office giving us any idea on when we would be allowed to open, we decided to hire a lawyer. We interviewed several, went with a gentleman, and he was very honest. He said, this case is winnable, but it's not easy. And so since May 22nd, we have been talking with this lawyer and finally got heard last Wednesday. And the reason it took a while is because we were in the process. The state called our lawyer and asked to settle or have settlement talks. So that was all good. The lawyer said, yes, that's a good sign. So we got out of the proceedings or out of the court's documents and had settlement talks. We thought everything went great. Got off the phone after that with our lawyer, and he's like, that was great. We should hear in the next 24 hours. The state never even came back. They just emailed our lawyer and said, no, we're off the table. So then we had to get back onto the court's docket. Got heard last Wednesday in the business courts of North Carolina. The same judge that was hearing our case was the same one who ruled against the bars. So this judge had just heard a case the week before and sided with the state to keep bars closed. So we weren't sure how our case would go. But last Wednesday, we got our chance, finally, our day in court. And our argument really was about that there was no data to keep us closed. That if restaurants were continuing to open, if everything else that he had continued to open, that we were at the same probably the wrong word, but the same sort of threat level for spreading of COVID, that
Sure.
we were no more dangerous than anything and less dangerous than a lot of things he had already opened. And so the judge really hounded the state on, why are you keeping us closed? Why are you not allowing bowling centers to open? What evidence do you have that COVID's going to spread more rapidly? And the state had zero evidence on that. And we just got the news at about 12:45 today that the judge ruled in our favor. So
congratulations.
Yeah. So there's lots of things that we had to agree to. We had passed out a 17-page manual to our members about going every other lane, about keeping touch points, getting rid of as many touch points, essentially locking up the bowling balls so that which bowling balls are being used and touched. So a lot of different things, but he said if we follow all those rules, then he thinks we should be allowed to open. Now, right before I got on, I also just got a text that said, of course, that the governor has already decided to appeal it, so that's not good, so we'll be back in court, but that doesn't stop us from opening up immediately. So it's not over, but the first battle has at least been won.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm curious if they used that little tactic to delay you a little bit to enter
it's interesting. I would say yes, being on this side of it. I would say yes, because I don't understand the whole legal, we operate bowling centers, and the thing I love most about bowling centers is they're usually very apolitical. We just want people to come have fun.
Right.
We have all walks of life who come into our doors. It's something that unites us. But I would say from being on this side that yes, it delayed us another week and a half, but our lawyer, said, you may not agree with politics, but that's usually not a delay tactic. And
Okay.
that week, that was happened on Monday. On Wednesday, the governor announced we weren't going into phase 3 and extended phase 2. So I'm sure that it was a behind the scenes of, hey, we think they're ready to open, but we're not going to let anybody else open, so we're just going to not settle.
Right.
So I don't think it was as mean as I would, your first instinct is to say it was on purpose. And so is mine, but I don't think that's the way it played out.
So, and I apologize, I didn't really introduce Nancy, just threw in there.
Yeah,
So
come on.
Nancy's
tell us
a
about it.
proprietor of B&B Lanes in Fayetteville, North Carolina, a past president of the Bowling Proprietors.
Yes, she is.
So that really is exciting, because I think it's a start to something. But we were just talking about before you came on that this could be wonderful for us, and it could be terrible for us at the same time, right? Here's a precedent, and are the other governors are going to be a little bit more confident about actually opening up and giving more guidance,
Right.
or a date, or committing to dates.
Right. Oh, she's just gonna.
Yeah, well, we're in a similar boat. So 44, I believe, is the current number of states open. It might be 42, so I might have my numbers wrong. So most of the United States is open and bowling. And just the other day, as y'all are probably well aware, New Jersey said, hey, we're halting indoor dining, but we're going to allow you to continue to open your bowling centers, which we submitted in our case. So that was definitely in our favor.
Right.
Over the weekend, a few counties in California did sort of rescind bowling, but that's the only thing we're aware of. So the majority of the country is bowling and bowling well. I mean, they are still opening and operating. To my knowledge, no one's coming out saying that now we have data that COVID is spreading faster there. So never in a million years would I have told you North Carolina was going to be this hard to, we're normally right in the middle. We're not the first to do anything. We're not the last to do anything, but this time we're in the boat with y'all up in New York, and we're definitely going to be like one of the last states, if not the last state to get open.
Yeah, I just got a message. Our friend Mike Kennington just shared that Miami-Dade County in Florida has now started to reclose bars and restaurants. So they haven't gotten any word for them at this point. But does that mean the start of exactly what happened in California? I mean, that's a scary. And I know we've been very consistent. We believe that our governor doesn't want to be in a position to say, you're open, and then you're closed, because that's to your point, I think that's probably the worst thing that could happen for all of us.
Yeah, look, we get it. It's a scary time for all of us, but I think that what proprietors are asking for here is to be considered the same as other businesses. I think that what you've heard small business owners say for the last 100 days is treat us all fairly. Either open us all up or close us all up, but don't pick and choose who gets to be winners. And that's something that I still feel very, very strongly for. If North Carolina feels the need to fight COVID stronger than we already are, then let's close all businesses, and I'll be happy to abide by that. But as long as you continue to allow pools to be open, vape shops, restaurants, everything else, and then I should be given that right as well. And I think that we're going to knock it out of the park with we're going to go every other lane. We're going to require masks. What the North Carolina requires of us, we're definitely going to do. So I think that this is going to be a much needed welcome for those people who are ready. Not everybody is ready, but for those people who are ready to be able to go out and have a little safe fun. Our mental health is just as important as everything else.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely.
Damn sure. Hey, all right. So on a positive note, you've been doing some work in the bowling center, and you've been excited for reopening, and you've welcomed customers at the door for dining and such, I believe, right? What's happening at B&B Lane?
Well, we didn't get a great feedback on, opening for dining. So we did it on specific days, on some Saturdays, and opened up our pro shop. And that went well after a few weeks. But and I wish I was there. I came home because was not expecting all of this to happen today. So I looked miserable. So unfortunately, I'm at my house. I'm about to head back. But we took this time to do some improvements. We redid our desk completely, our desk area, put up some great family photos to show that it's a family business. Gary, my husband, rebuilt all of our bowling lanes. We took down some wires. It's easier to be at work. Took down some old scoring wires, redid all of our turret baskets. Of course, we have cleaned, and re-cleaned. We installed 3 new drop-down video screens. We installed 8 new TVs, redid our menus a little bit. So really took the opportunity to do some of the things that, as y'all are very well aware, some of the big projects you just can't do when you're open. You can't hold a lane down long enough to tear it apart and put it back together. So we got done a lot of spring cleaning that we had ignored. I don't want to say ignored, but really just didn't have the time to do over the last 60 years.
Yeah, it's funny because we've been talking about our mechanics, and Jimmy like getting to things that you would never normally get to. So to an extent, he's excited. At the same time, he's really not excited.
Yes.
Yeah, it was great for the first 3 weeks, right? I think all proprietors for the first 3 weeks were like, we've got this. Oh my God, we're getting things done that we've never even thought about before. And so the first 3 weeks were great. But after that, at the end of the day, we miss our customers, even the ones that, get under our skin sometimes. I mean, we love them and we do. And even my employees are like, I want to work that league that they may have, decided they didn't truly like. So it was good at the beginning, but now it's back to time to get to reality. And I know case counts are increasing throughout the country. Yet the CDC also released information yesterday and today that said COVID-19 has so few deaths, it's not about to be classified as a pandemic anymore. So there's lots of good news out there as well, in terms of stats, and that our effective rate is starting to go down. It's no longer hovering at 8 to 9%. It's starting to be around 5 to 6%. So it is still out there and still a major threat. At the same time, it's for those who are ready. It's time to reclaim some of our lives and get back to normal. We can't wait. So hey. Thanks for popping in.
Thank you.
You're the best.
Great to see you. And you look beautiful.
She does.
Oh, thank you. This was there's a reason you're seeing me from here up, right? I was like, oh God. I've got to love the camera for that reason.
I can't. Too funny. Oh God. Yeah, when she said before I don't look good, I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. Sure.
Right. High standards. Yeah.
Well, congratulations. Awesome stuff. Keep on, and keep up the fight. And we can't wait to hear more from you guys.
Good luck.
Sounds good. And like I said, we could definitely use the prayers. It's definitely not over, but we appreciate it. And hopefully we'll set the standard for everybody else. And we'll get everybody up there soon.
And that's what we all need. We all need some hope, right? I think it comes down to needing hope to say that, hey, we're here. We're not going away.
It's done. And they're getting it done. Look, it's getting done. Yep.
All right.
Thanks,
Love you.
Nancy.
We'll talk to you.
Love you too. See
Catch you
y'all
later.
soon. Take care.
Bye. Say hello.
Well, that was good news.
Yeah, it's good news. We need to have more good news. So I have to laugh a little bit. We keep talking about other states and what's happening around us.
Yes.
And interestingly enough, my brother went to Provincetown
Yes.
for the weekend.
Right.
And when he checked in at the hotel, they said they would have some guidelines to follow. You have to wear your mask on the property and
Right.
a couple of things. But after 9 p.m., you don't have to wear your mask.
Okay.
So they have a city ordinance that after 9 p.m. you don't have to wear. You could be out in public, but you don't have to wear your mask. So he specifically said,
Because the COVID goes to sleep at 9.
well, it's exactly what he said. He said to the girl at the desk, he goes, he goes, COVID goes to sleep at 9 p.m.? We're in the middle of a pandemic. You're trying to make light and fun. And he's just looking at her going,
You are by telling me.
I don't know. And he's like, he doesn't want to get into an argument, but he's
Right.
like, you're telling me it's okay. I have to wear my mask all day, but after 9 p.m., I don't have to wear it. Yeah. And you could be out and about and you don't have to wear it. And he says, in the streets and being around, because we were out, and he's now wearing he's now embracing the bandana.
Oh, okay.
So he's wearing the bandana,
Yes.
pulled down.
Yep.
But he says, as he's walking through the street, 9 o'clock comes, and it's like
People are taking them off. That is weird.
So-
That's strange.
commit to it or don't commit to it. I mean, if you
Yeah.
want to say don't wear the mask,
I know.
and 9 o'clock is such an odd time, especially in a town like that where there's
That's the
nightlife.
nightlife, yeah. Massachusetts, they peaked, I believe, going back in time, because I have family there, a little after us, right around the same time we did. Now, I don't know what their numbers are right now. I know there's a little pocket up in the Northeast where we're all kind of doing okay, and the rest of the United
Well, what does your
States
family
is
that
not doing.
lives up there say?
They didn't say anything to me about, after 9 o'clock, I'm going to have to ask them if that's
Well, that's
true.
specifically in P-Town.
Oh, well, maybe it's
It's not a state, or it was a city ordinance. Now, I don't know if
So
other
they're not-
cities have done the same thing.
that would be interesting.
I just find it
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
And there were a couple of other things that she was, and that's one. During your stay, there's no housekeeping nightly.
Okay.
So he says, so they're going to clean my room when? He goes, well, after you leave, they're going to clean the room. So it's okay for her to, or him, whoever the housekeeper is, to enter the room
At the
after I'm
end.
gone, but not during that time.
Well, less exposures, maybe. They're only being exposed, like, over the course of, like, if you
So
stayed there for 3 days.
but you're cleaning.
Not
But you're
ex-
physically cleaning the space.
Frank, I don't know what to tell you. I'm just trying to.
So he just looked at her, and again, he just, okay.
That might
And
be.
I can picture Anthony just
he
being
must have.
standing,
I
and
would
him
have
telling
liked
the
to
story
have
was
seen
hysterical.
his face when they told him after 9 o'clock.
The mask thing, he
Yes.
absolutely drove him nuts. He's been talking about it since he came home, and he's been around. He reminded me about it before. He says, well, if you're out after 9,
Just take your mask
just
off.
take the mask
COVID
off.
goes to sleep. I can hear them
Yeah.
saying that.
Exactly. COVID goes to sleep. It's cuckoo. It really is cuckoo. Just be consistent. And that's where, if I'm going to give our governor props or kudos, and I'm not a fan, it is a little bit of
He's
consistency on that message.
Yeah.
Just wear the mask if you're especially in public, you're around
Yeah.
people. I'm seeing it's changed a little bit. Some people are embracing it a little bit more, but it is.
I have to say, I see when I'm out and about. Hi, welcome. I see a lot of people wearing their masks.
Yeah.
I don't really see, and maybe because I'm, when I don't go into a big supermarket. I do most of my shopping by delivery. I go into a couple little stores in my neighborhood. Always people with masks. but I don't.
So bowl in the 9:30 league then if you can take your mask off.
There you go. Makes
we would
sense.
certainly welcome anyone. And so Patricia makes a point too that she opted out of housekeeping.
Right. Well,
And I
that's
can see
right.
that too. And it depends on the hotel. And I've done that myself. Listen, in this point, do you want anybody entering your room that's now entering other rooms? So
Other rooms, right.
that to me, I think is where, okay, maybe I don't want somebody entering my space. And maybe that's what it's for. But it sounds silly.
Well,
Somebody's coming in to clean your space.
Like,
Then it's a problem. But
from the last couple of days, what I've been hearing is that they feel like this is very much airborne. They seem to be a lot less focused on the
Surface.
touching, having it spread by touch, and much more focused on airborne. Now, unfortunately, we're in a situation that, we have to believe, you have to pick and choose what you believe, what you hear, because, sometimes there's ulterior motives by certain information coming out, which is terrible, but it looks like, and I've tried to listen to doctors and research, and if I'm not sure of anything, I always ask my nutritionist, who is my go-to person, and because she loves to research, so I know that she's researching the proper places to find out the info, and she has been from the beginning. Just wear a mask. Just wear a mask.
be like Harry. Wear a mask.
Be like Harry.
Hey, speaking of Harry, so check this out. I mentioned it yesterday.
I'm checking it out.
You now have Harry on your devices. If you want to share Harry in your messages, if you're on Instagram or Snapchat, you can
How
insert Harry
awesome is that?
as a sticker. So here's a brief look at how you get Harry into your messages.
Oh.
I like it. So on your phones, go to your
That's awesome.
if you download the app Giphy, Giphy, then you have access to Harry, and you can send Harry kisses and love to anybody you want. Isn't that cool?
That is
It's been a little bit of the quarantine
project
fun. That's been more of the fun part of the quarantine than some of the other stuff that's happening around here. But
Yeah.
it's all good. We're just working on getting clean, and we're always clean. Just looking at our facility in a different way. There's some painting, some machine maintenance.
Yeah.
And notice today there's nothing happening.
Nothing
over there.
happening
No
down here.
noise.
Nothing
I don't know where
happened.
Jimmy and
But
Michael
I
can be
can't
found today.
complain. Jimmy did me a big favor today. We got some major movement going on in the shop today, and just moving and cleaning, and so Jimmy did me a little favor today. It just happened like that. So I may have to impose upon him for one or two more favors. But yes, they're busy. Just
Somewhere.
way
They're in the
down
back.
there.
They were in the bar before. Hey, while we were sitting here, we got an alert. So
Oh.
the Yankees and Mets are doing exhibition games
Oh, I thought
July
they weren't.
18th and 19th.
I thought there were going to be no exhibition games.
Well, they're doing them July 18th and 19th. The 18th at Citi Field, the 19th at Yankee Stadium. Yankees Mets exhibition.
And they're playing each other a lot, like 8 times maybe.
Yeah, I don't know what.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable with that. I do like the Mets are playing the Red Sox. I saw that on the
Yeah,
schedule.
exciting.
I like that little to kind of procure that little rivalry. I don't know if it'll stay going forward, but there's it's interesting.
Procure. The rivalry.
Carry that forward.
I like that, using fancy.
You know what? I told you.
You're on the fancy word list today.
I'm trying to use a little bit more
You're expanding
vocabulary every day.
Yeah.
I try to fit one word in. I don't always use it the right way, but I try to get it right.
Now you're being corrected.
Six
Six
times.
times they're
I was
playing each
close.
other.
That's great.
We like being corrected.
Yes.
Hey,
Joke out.
So it's today, episode 98. We're on the road to 100.
On the road to 100.
This is crazy, but we're excited, and we hope you are too. Thursday will be our 100th episode, and we're on the road, al fresco style,
road again.
with our friend Pam Silvestri. We're going to be on Forest Avenue at Bruno's, and so if you're in the neighborhood and you want to drop in, by all means,
Yeah. Do a little drive by.
drop on in.
Or walk by.
Walk by. I feel it could
We're
certainly
going to be out on the sidewalk anyway, so.
I don't know where we're going to be sitting, but we're going to be sitting somewhere. So
Well,
just drop in.
there's no indoors.
Well, there's seats in the back also. So like
In the
lot.
back? Oh, they set up.
I
You know,
believe
I
there's a
can't
couple
believe it.
tables in the back. Yeah. And,
Oh.
I mean, we're probably going to be on Forest Avenue. I mean, that's where all the action happens.
That's where I want to be. I want to be where the action is, Frank.
So if you want, drop in. But drop in here. Watch us 2:00. You never know what you'll find. But we're
It should be
sitting with
it should
Pam.
be
We'll
a
have some.
special
We'll be
show.
eating again. You guys love to talk about food.
And
You
their
don't
food
always
is
seem
good.
to love watching us eat.
Cafe Bruno's good food.
But if you're gonna drop by, just come by and say hello, because we've got, you never know.
You never know. Wear your mask if you do come by, though. And we'll have some hand sanitizer for anyone who needs it.
Oh,
Maybe we'll have some masks too if you don't have.
if you don't have a mask, well, we'll bring some masks. Yeah, Mike Caddington specifically saying Shorty, impressing with the word skills. He's calling you Shorty.
Shorty. How does he know how tall I am?
Because he's very.
I know he's very tall. I know that. I did. He probably doesn't even remember he met me.
Yes, he does.
Does he?
Yeah, he does. I think so. He talks about you. He likes you.
I know he talks.
Now he's gonna apologize.
Now
or
it's gonna
something.
be
now
bad.
I make him feel better for
Yeah,
doing
good,
that.
because I do. I take.
So
exception to
episode
Shorty.
100 on Thursday. Tomorrow, our friend Mark and Tatcha from Mark's
That's a
Bakery
great
is going to be on. So we're going to talk. So we've got 2 days of food.
Nice.
Talk about- Sweets.
It's tough opening a business on Staten Island in a very competitive space, which the bakery space on Staten Island, it might be third behind delis and pizzerias, maybe bakeries.
Yeah, we have a lot.
There
of
were a lot of bakeries.
The difference, though, they're not as highly concentrated. I feel like the bakeries are like neighborhood bakeries. You have, because right here now we have Bruno's, which we didn't always have bakery, but we have Bono's down the block, which was the sole bakery for the longest time, right? And then Bruno's, and then the next.
Oh, wait, there was another bakery over here. There's a bakery. Oh, you probably don't even remember it. On the block where Trattoria is. There's a bakery on that block.
Oh, really?
I'll remember sometime.
Oh.
Sometime around 5 o'clock.
Oh no. So and then nearest, we always had Andrew and Allen's. Dominic's was on Highland Boulevard, and then moved to Newdorf.
Moved to New York.
And then they were there at the same time Andrew and Allen's was. Andrew and Allen's
A
closed,
block
and eventually
away.
Dominic's closed. So,
Right.
but now Newdorf has Cake Chef, a piece of cake, and
I will say
she opened up when Dominic was open too.
the ones that have survived really have a stepped up game.
We do have some
Because
really good
we
bakeries.
have some pretty pretty good
Yeah,
bakeries.
you can
in
get a lot of
town.
good ganolis, some foyadels.
We got it. If you want it on Staten Island,
So Thursday. So tomorrow we'll
and
talk
it's
to
bakery.
Mark. We'll talk with Mark tomorrow about what's happening there. They've been open basically throughout the whole time. He was doing online ordering.
And he's near Holterman's, right?
But
Kind of.
on the way. So he's on Richmond Road in Richmond Town.
Right.
And then, I mean, it's outside of Richmond Town on Arthur Kill would be Holtzman's. He's not far from Holtzman's, but
That far.
I mean, for me,
5 minutes.
we've been going to Mark's for a while, and for those that bowl in the mornings, that's where our donuts now come from.
Right.
But they're two
It's a
different
great business.
style bakeries.
Oh, absolutely. Holterman's
And I love
is
Holterman's.
yeah.
For
Listen,
specific things.
how do you survive that long in a
Over
in a
100
space
years.
if you're not good?
Yeah.
I mean, they are.
One of the only places you can get a Charlotte Russe. We talked about that at one point.
The only thing I remember about Charlotte Russe is it used to be in the theme song of the Patty Duke show. Now, probably 2 people watching this right now remember the Patty Duke show, and they talked about Charlotte
That's
Russe, and I never knew what it was.
And how do we forget? We have thank you, Don. We've got Royal Crown Bakery up the block.
Yeah,
Well, further down though. But I mean, you
Yeah.
kind of have like. But my point was, we have the kind of like neighborhood spots,
right.
For over
But they're
time. as well.
within.
They're
I
not
mean,
far.
you can't. I think on Staten Island, you would not drive more than 3 or 4 minutes without
Oh yeah, no, without.
finding a bakery.
And then you've got the, and then Forest. No, see Victory.
Yeah,
Victory.
Moretti.
Victory, yeah, Victory Boulevard. You got some space, but yeah, I think that's.
You got
good,
the cake chef over there. The cake chef, the cookie chef.
Daisy Dukes. Is that Daisy's sister, Charlotte Russe?
Is it talk about Patty Duke show?
I think so. I think it's
Daisy Duke? No. Look it up online.
Daisy Dukes. That's funny. Anyway.
Acknowledge that. Silly.
And Friday will end the week.
With a wonderful show.
She's awesome. She's been here.
She
Verity Crawley from England. She was here a couple of years ago when we hosted one of the USA Bowling events. She was the pro that traveled with the event, and she's awesome.
Yes.
And so she's going to join us on Friday and talk
She's
a little bit
great
World
bowling
Bowling.
ambassador, I feel like.
She is.
She really is engaged with like that younger group of bowlers.
I can just listen to her talk, though. She's got a great
and then
accent.
she's got the cool accent.
And so Friday, and then next week, we're jumping around days because we no longer have Pro Bowler Saturday. But Wednesday, Sean Rash, added another title to his.
He is having
resume.
quite a time.
He is. So he's
Got a
going to
little
join us
streak
on
going.
Wednesday. Assuming you follows the direction young man next week received you. Yeah, John. Yes, we certainly we're looking at all the options to be considered for when we do get to reopen, and that for a short period of time might be something that we have to do.
Correct.
It's not something we will be able to do long term because the financial model doesn't work. But we will be able to do it for a period of time. But we won't know until we have a little bit more guidance. But yeah, we're certainly considering the every other lane, and it's happening all over the country.
Yeah.
And now in some states they're at full capacity. So we'll see what that looks like.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of the PBA, today, this
Is there a
afternoon,
draft coming up, right?
4:00 Eastern.
Oh.
The 2 women-only teams.
The 2
Miami
women's
Waves
teams.
and the Phoenix Fury. I don't know how I feel about the names. I do like the logos. They look cool. They'll look cool on
It's all
some
about the
jerseys.
logo.
I
All
mean,
about the colors and the logo.
they're cool. I mean, they are cool. They'll make some really cool team shirts.
No, but they're not gonna call them the Waves anyway. They're gonna call them Miami.
Miami Waves.
So if the name isn't
But they use, like, if you ever watch, they use the Lumberjacks. I mean, they use
I understand.
the Waves.
But if they don't really catch on, they'll just end up calling them Miami.
Maybe. You never know. So today, 4:00 on Flow Bowling, you can check out the draft. And it'll be interesting to see how that shapes out.
Yeah.
Some ladies might be a little upset that he didn't get drafted. Some might be
Well,
excited.
we've already heard on our show a young professional bowler who did not get drafted, who was not very happy.
But it was a great learning experience.
It was
for
a
him.
wonderful learning.
So go back
experience.
about a week or 2 ago. We had Andrew
it was longer than
Anderson
that, wasn't
on.
Oh, he was great.
I have no concept of time
It
anymore.
was.
It's episode 98, day 111. So in 111 days, we've had 98 episodes of this shenanigans. Just 2 hacks coming to
Shenanigans
you
is a
live
good
on
word.
Facebook and YouTube every day. Well, now it's 5 days a week. So yeah, I have no concept of time. So whatever it was. What episode? Now you're going through your notes.
It was before Fagan.
Episode 86.
He went back.
episode
look,
86.
So it was a couple weeks ago.
So it's a couple weeks ago. Andrew Anderson was on, so go and check that out. He talks about having this awesome season and then not getting drafted for the league, which was the point of all that.
Right.
So go check it out if you missed that interview.
Yeah.
It was great. And he
was very candid about how he felt.
Yeah.
And it was funny because they even, on the show that was on a couple of weeks ago, when they showed the finals, they talked about it. So it wasn't just that he was upset. He was visibly upset.
Oh no, he was upset. He was very upset.
So it was enlightening. So it happens to everybody.
Yeah, and so
Even the best of us.
Kevin mentions Shannon's team will have to wear purple.
Well, you would think so.
Is it Shannon and Kelly? Is that who's been identified as the?
I thought that's
as the team captains.
Let's see.
So 4:00 Eastern, Flow Bowling. Check it out. If you don't subscribe, if you don't subscribe, you can get on I believe you can get on a free trial. And on Flow Bowling, you might actually on Flow Sports, you'll probably be able to watch the draft. Unlike other streaming services where you can't watch. And Nazareth, you'll be upset with me. I still have not sat and did our premiere. It's going to be on the next few nights. We're going to do our premiere of Hamilton. They will be getting drafted. Okay. I know they're on the list. I just didn't see. I didn't look at the details. I mean, the details weren't as important to me until watching the draft. So I'll be excited.
What time it is, but it
doesn't say
who it is.
So we'll see how that goes tonight. Bob. Oh, so the guys are. I see. So Bob Learn and someone else is paying. And Bob.
So they are the coaches. They are the captains of the team.
Right.
Not the girls themselves.
The girls are the athletes. They're eligible for the draft to get drafted.
Bob was on before. I should have asked them.
So we'll have to reach out to Bob and find out. But 4:00 we get to watch. And Bob was on the show. Another one. Okay. They can't hear you. Okay. Whispering over the microphone never works.
Oh well.
But it wasn't really meant to not be heard. So yeah, that'd be great. We'll see. We'll check that out. Hey, episode 100 Thursday. Come on in and be here with us. We're on at 2:00 every day this week except for Friday. Friday we're going to be on at 1. And we're going to really mess with you. Next week we are on at noon. So starting Monday, all week we're going to be on at 12 noon. That means Naz and I have to get our acts together 2 hours earlier than we already do.
Listen, that's not a problem for me. We are up at 5 a.m.
Oh, I'm up. I'm just not.
Right, just right.
Like this morning, I slept terrible. I was up at like 6 o'clock. I just looked and was like, this is not what I want to be doing right now.
Right.
But
I'd like to be in my third dream at that time.
So we're really messing with our schedule, but we're going to remind you and share it. And yes, Lucas, we have leagues in bowling. We have lots of leagues, multiple days a week.
Yeah.
Every day of the week, you should say. Anyway.
Don't forget to share and like and subscribe.
I feel like this is happening right now.
You're lucky I don't have anything I can throw at you.
Oh.
It would be nice to have something.
Yeah. So share, like, continue to watch. We're here the rest of the week at 2:00. Celebrating
Friday,
100 episodes.
I can't wait till Thursday.
I know you can't. And then what? It's just downhill from there.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's downhill.
After we hit 100,
Climb to 100.
It's going to be like Cuomo's mountain.
No mercy.
Maybe we'll have a big mountain behind us, and at the top will be a little 100, and then it'll be downhill from there.
Oh,
maybe we can make that happen. Maybe he'll let us borrow his mountain.
We'll call him.
Well,
he brought it to New York City because when he was here, it looked like it was in the background, unless it was a photo or a green screen. But I think he traveled from Albany to New York City with the mountain.
Can you imagine?
No,
loading that up in a van or something.
No, or on the plane or whatever they do.
People are saying, "You don't really want to take this with you." Oh, I'm taking the mountain.
I can see him arguing with his people.
Right, exactly. The staff going.
Probably his daughter. I could see him arguing with his daughter that worked. Right, his daughter works with him.
Yeah, and Dad, you don't really. It's not necessary.
No, we're bringing
we're
it.
taking it.
We're
We're
taking
taking it.
Yeah, I don't care what
That
my
is
brother
a
Chris
symbol.
says.
That is a symbol of what we have. We don't mean to make fun. He's done us.
We're
good.
cracking.
That's it. We're almost at 100. We're almost on the other side.
We love you. Keep watching. Keep
Yes,
sharing.
please.
Keep liking. Smash the like button, as Naz keeps saying. You should do it right now before we end the show. And tomorrow, right back here, 2:00, with our friend from Mark's Bakery, Mark and Tatya. And we'll be talking. I might have to stop at the bakery on the way here.
That would be great. And then we
I
could just
can't
set
just
it up here.
Talk about and watch him be in the
It's
bakery.
a deal. Come on, Frank.
I'll stop there.
All right.
I'll place an order before. All right. Anyway, we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.
That was awesome. Thank you.